Seahawks fans, I want to make sure you're following me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Tyler Jones Live, as I bring you up-to-the-minute updates on what's going on with the Seahawks coaching search. Love interacting with the 12s on that platform. Follow me at Tyler Jones Live. And the first 10 people to follow me from today's show, I'm going to follow you back. So join us there on X, at Tyler Jones Live, for the latest happenings of your favorite team. I got you covered. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us as we have an update on the Seahawks coaching search, in particular on two specific names, that being Baltimore defensive coordinator Mike Macdonald and Detroit offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. Two names that were some of the early favorites when it came to this Seahawks coaching search, but have kind of faded within the last week or so. But we have some interesting information courtesy of Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network doing an interview with Seattle Sports. And I got to tell you, it's very fascinating. First and foremost, Pelissero says that this coaching search is truly open at this point. The favorite from the beginning was Dan Quinn, the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator, and he's still the favorite, it would seem. But Pelissero says that it's not a foregone conclusion, that the Seahawks are keeping their options open, and that Macdonald and Johnson, despite not being on the second interview list, are not out of the running to be the next Seahawks head coach. Here's more from Pelissero saying the following: I wouldn't be surprised if they double back on some of these coaches that are still in the playoffs as well. We're early in this process. Well, the Seahawks situation was a little bit different in terms of what they made that move and where they're looking for in the next head coach. I think they're going to take their time. It's not to say that they can't make a hire this week, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if we get into at least next week and they continue to consider their options and keep those conversations going. So, three things you need to know on this situation. Right now, the Seahawks cannot talk to Ben Johnson or Mike Macdonald, either one, until their seasons end. The Lions playing in the NFC Championship, while the Ravens with Macdonald are in the AFC Championship game this week. And then if either one of them were to advance, you'd have the Super Bowl, of course, in 2 weeks after that. Johnson had a virtual interview with Seattle, but hasn't had that second interview, as we mentioned. Meanwhile, Mike Macdonald has not interviewed with Seattle yet. And based on the timing of things with Mike Macdonald, from the point that the Seahawks position was open and his timing due to the playoffs, it didn't work out accordingly to get an interview, at least with how things work with league regulations and whatnot. So, bottom line is this: if you are in the camp of wanting Ben Johnson or Mike Macdonald to be the Seahawks' next head coach, you probably should root for them to lose this weekend in the AFC and NFC Championship games. Because if you're the Seattle Seahawks, I can't imagine this going another 2 weeks, waiting till after the Super Bowl for one of these two guys. That would be a month-long coaching search at that point. I would be shocked if it takes that long. If you want one of these two, they probably need to lose this weekend if we're going to be realistic. So, if you had to hire one of these two specifically, which one would you choose? For Ben Johnson, type BJ. BJ, Ben Johnson, his nickname, of course. Or Mike Macdonald, because he's not Ben Johnson. I figure this made sense. No BJ. Do you want BJ, or are you saying no to BJ? What do you want to do? Let me know in the comments section which one you would roll with. Folks, for the best Seahawks coverage on YouTube, you got to subscribe to Seahawks Today. We are the only place on the internet that's bringing you coaching search updates every single day here on the channel. We also have our daily news and rumors, live shows once a week, mailbags, and more. If you love your Seattle Seahawks, this is the channel for you. Subscribe now for free for the latest happenings in your favorite team. We got you covered. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV. Now, personally, when I look at Johnson and Macdonald compared to the rest of the coaching candidates that are on the second interview list that we'll show you here in just a minute, I like Johnson and Macdonald more than I do any of those other names that have come up. Dan Quinn on that second interview list, Raheem Morris, Mike Kafka, Evero Graham. Those are the five that have gotten these second interviews that would be in the driver's seat at this point. But look at what Ben Johnson has done. I've said this before. I'll continue to reiterate. I think he is the best young offensive mind in the National Football League, that he is destined to be a head coach. And, if you're looking for that Sean McVay type of sorts, this is the guy that I think teams are going to be looking for to take that mantle of sorts when it comes to that. Meanwhile, Mike Macdonald on the other side for the Baltimore Ravens. This is somebody that has done an incredible job. He's not a very old coach, and developing players. We've mentioned before that John Schneider is looking for player development, right? And here's somebody in Mike Macdonald that has seen guys take that next step, whether it was guys like Justin Matabuke or Patrick Queen or others since he took over that defense, has really gone the long way. Now, back to John Schneider for a second here, and these candidates specifically. What worries me when it comes to this coaching search is that John Schneider didn't even try for the best candidate available, I feel like, this coaching search. And that was Jim Harbaugh, who's now the head coach of the LA Chargers, leaving the University of Michigan. I'm not so confident that Schneider is going to get this hire right. When we look at the name of the second interview list, the second interviews, Dan Quinn's the only one on that list that's worthwhile. I don't like any of the other names. And then, not even talking to Harbaugh, we're going to give you an update on Vrabel in just a bit, and it's not good. I can tell you that much right now. Schneider is not doing a very good job handling this thing, and it doesn't make me feel good at all that he's going to choose the right guy for this position based on the way things have gone through this 2 weeks of where this coaching search is at. Are you confident John Schneider will hire the right head coach? Weigh in, tell me what you think. Y for yes, in for no. I'm not feeling so great. Let me know how you feel. Folks, I got a great deal that we are offering Seahawks fans. Hats are on sale now at chatsports.com/Seahawks hats, and you can get free shipping for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? Take advantage of the opportunity to get a snazzy-looking Seahawks hat. These are just some of the options. There's plenty more other options as well in free shipping. Don't need to give the United States Postal Service any more of your money. Keep it locked in. Save some money and get one of these awesome Seahawks hats. Represent your favorite team all off-season long. Chatsports.com/Seahawks hats to get yours today. All right, now Mike Vrabel. So the update from Pelissero in the same interview that he gave with Seattle Sports this week said that Vrabel is likely out of the coaching search in Seattle to replace Pete Carroll. More from Pelissero on this situation. He said, I think that coming from Pete Carroll, you're probably talking about pretty drastic cultural swing if you're going to Mike Vrabel. I think anyone who grew up in the New England culture, there's a little bit more negative reinforcement that's there, whereas with Pete, it was kind of that positive reinforcement type of culture. Also, he was big on celebrating the individual. I don't really know that's the kind of thing, way that Mike Vrabel runs things. And again, that's not saying that the Seahawks are looking for a carbon copy of Pete Carroll, but you really need to be concise. So with that, I personally think that the Seahawks need a cultural shift, if it were up to me. I'm looking at this Seahawks team, and I see the number one thing when it comes to culture is winning, right? And they need a new winning culture. I don't think that going to a guy like Vrabel and the way he operates, being a 180 from Pete Carroll, is a bad thing at all. And another guy that you potentially missed on, Dave Canales, if you were looking for somebody similar to Pete Carroll and do things the Pete Carroll way, why did the Seahawks not call Dave Canales? Now he's going to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, as reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter, saying the Panthers are hiring Buccaneers offensive coordinator Dave Canales as their new head coach, per sources. Panthers have offered the job, and Canales is taking it. It is a done deal. Remember, just a couple of years ago, he was the quarterback's coach for Seattle, working with Geno Smith, part of that big year he had. Then goes to Tampa Bay, does an awesome job with Baker Mayfield and that Bucs offense. Now he gets the chance to be the head coach there with Carolina, and he didn't even get a phone call. Didn't even get an interview with Seattle. So it's two things, right? It's okay. We don't want to go the Vrabel route because it's not necessarily a culture fit. But then you got a young rising star in Dave Canales who would be the culture fit, and you totally ignored him. So I got to tell you, I'm not confident at all the way Schneider's handling things. Now you're down to 3 head coach openings left. Atlanta, Seattle, and Washington at this point. And if you're Seattle, it's getting down crunch time at this point to get this right with these other openings here. We'll see what they do, but I'm not feeling great that this is all going to work out, with butterflies and rainbows and everything. Who will be the next Seattle Seahawks head coach? Get your predictions in now in the comment section. Tell me who you think that will ultimately be. Reminder, follow me on X at Tyler Jones Live. First 10 people to follow me after today's show, you're getting to follow back, and I'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.